Hi folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for the city of Toronto. My name is Santo Sessa with RE/MAX Premier. You know, April sales are not where we expected them to be. Okay, so let me get right into it. First of all, let me show you what's happening. I have the City of Toronto detached behind me here. So when we look at a weekly basis, sales they're basically the same. They're up by one from the previous week. The amount of homes sold at $2 million or more has stayed the same. Average sold price, it's up slightly, but it's basically the same. The average detached in the City of Toronto sold for $1,734,000. Now, let's just kind of look back a few weeks here. When we look at March, sales were up just under 350 sales a week. Then we had April 1st, it came down. And I kind of thought, okay, sorry, not April 1st, for week ending April 7th. And I was talking about how, that probably has to do with the new stay-at-home orders, and it has to do that's our Easter week, and that's why sales came down a bit. And then so last week they jumped up to 296 detached, and I thought, oh, we're back to normal. And that's kind of was my general attitude, and I expected more this week. Why? Well, it would be normal. We have our January, February sales should be higher. March sales should be higher than the previous months, and that's kind of making sense as far as a normal real estate year goes. Not like last year, that's a whole different situation, but all the years before that, January, February, March, that would be normal. Sales are increasing each month, especially as we get into the warmer months. Well, April should, at the very least, be the same as March or increasing higher than March. That's not happening. And I don't have a scientific, mathematical reason why. I'll tell you what I personally feel is the reason, and I'm telling you this because I'm a full-time realtor. I'm seeing this with the buyers I'm working with the listings that I have, with the sellers and the buyers' attitudes coming to showings and offer nights and so forth. There was such a frenzy built up the end of February and March that buyers were showing up on top of each other, looking at properties on offer night, 20 or 30, and we saw that come down to not 20 or 30 offers, but that dropped down to 10 offers, 7 offers, 5 offers. There's still multiple offers, but just not what it was before. And buyers have basically said, whoa, 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 this is nuts. And yes, they're eager to buy. There's lots of buyers. There's way more buyers than there are listings out there. The demand outstrips the supply. That's what's keeping prices high. That's what's keeping months of inventory low. But they're just kind of just slowing down a little bit in a sense that we don't need to spend $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 over asking, and just calming a little bit, kind of catching their breath. We'll see how the next few weeks progress, but that's what I personally feel for my own buyers and their attitude towards what's happening out there. So it's so important in this market. You're working with a really good realtor to help you navigate, if you're selling, how to maximize the price, and if you're buying, how to win out on some of these multiple offers and be able to buy your dream house. So that's what's happening on a weekly basis here. Average sold price has been going up overall. Compared to last year, well, doesn't really make sense to compare it because at this time last year, everything was, especially prices coming way down, activity way down. And you could see it here where last year at this time we sold 71. This year we're selling 297. If you didn't know, if you just landed from Mars to Earth and you see sales this year compared to last year and you don't know what happened last year, you're thinking, oh, wow, we're doing so much better. It's an artificial better than last year, but we are doing far better than we've done in the years past. Of the 297, 74% sold at list price or more. So lots of action, lots of competition out there. When we look at listings, listings came down a little bit, and you see here's another example. We're expecting listings to be higher as we get into the spring months, and not a lot of new inventory coming onto the market, which keeps demand pretty tight. We look at months of inventory, we're sitting at 1 month of inventory, and it's been pretty steady for a few weeks now at 0.9, 1 month, and that's keeping average sold price around the same each week. Taking a closer look at semis, months of inventory is sitting at 0.5, so we basically have 2 weeks of inventory when it comes to semis. We don't do a ton of sales in semis. 127 were sold last week. That's 84% of those sold at list price or more. So very, very competitive. The average sold price came down a little bit. It's sitting at $1,286,000 for semis. Townhouses, we do even less sales in townhouses than we do semis. But townhouses, we sold 42 last week for week ending April 21. 74% sold at list price or more. Months of inventory is sitting at 0.7. So 0.7, semis, 0.5, ridiculously low, lots of competition. The average townhouse sold for $1,221,000. Now it looks like there's a big drop from the previous week, but when you're looking at only 42 sales, you get a few of those luxury properties not selling 1 week, average sold price comes down. Let's take a close look at condos. Now condos for the last year has been a bit of a roller coaster ride here, where prices were coming down, and we're starting to see average sold prices coming up over the span, especially the span of this year. But here we go. You know, when we look at the March sales, we were doing a few weeks of over 500. Over here, we're at 498, 512, 535 sales of condos per week, and doing what it's supposed to be doing. As we get into the summer months, sales are supposed to be going higher. But for April, same idea, bit of a lull. And when we look at the amount of condos, though, that sold at $1 million or more, that shot way up to 47. So 47 compared to 19 the previous week. The sales, although they're a little bit less, they're not that far off. We sold 465 condos last week, where it was 480 the week before. But with the amount of condos at $1 million or more being so much higher, more than double what they were the previous week, we would expect average sold price to be that much higher. But it wasn't. It came down by about $12,000 to $728,000. Well, we expect prices to go up and down each week. We're looking for the trend, and the trend is looking to go up, but I'm just surprised that with the amount of condos, so much more selling at $1 million or more, I was very surprised that the average sold price wasn't higher than the previous week. Compared to last year, it's difficult to do that. Last year we sold 6 at $1 million or more. Last year, at this time. This year we sold 47. We would expect average sold price to be much, much higher than 16% from where it was last year. So sales, 465 were sold, 70% sold at list price or more. If you want to get a good feel for the condo market, yes, prices are going up, but it's also getting more competitive. When we look back here in January and February, where 30%, 40%, 50% were selling at list price or more, now for the last few weeks, we've been consistently around 70% selling at list price or more. So it's far more competitive right now. Looking at listings, 822 listings, a little bit less than what it was the previous week. And months of inventory is sitting at 1. So very competitive, very low. The market is very, very tight. $728,000 as the average sold price. And as long as months of inventory stay this slow, we can expect average sold price to be increasing or to stay around where it is now. Look, even though there's a bit of a lull, I don't know how scientifically to explain it, but there's a bit of a lull. It's, in my opinion, based on public attitude. Buyers are like, whoa, 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 this is nuts. They still want to buy, but they're not just jumping into the deep end and prepared to spend way, way, way over asking like we saw in March. But they're still buying. And sellers are seeing the difficulty in buying, so they're not putting their property on the market until they buy. And that's just putting more pressure on demand. It's so important, like I've said before, you're working with a good realtor, especially in this market. My name is Santo Sessa. I work with RE/MAX Premier. A lot of the insights that I'm giving you is because I'm in the field every day. I am a full-time realtor. If you have anything you need help with, please, I'm happy to help out. Give me a call. My contact details are below or above. They're all over this page here. And I really appreciate your comments, and please subscribe, hit the bell button, and share this video with all your friends. Have a great day.